Hello everyone, how are we doing? I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. My name is Victoria Wiggins and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm diving into something I don't normally do. I'm diving into a little commentary video. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at it. I know what you're here for, so we're gonna get right into the video. I just do have to give a few disclaimers. One, I do not typically do commentary videos, so this is my first whack at it, my first shot at the old ball. So if it's a little choppy, if it's a little messy, I apologize. Any feedback is more than welcome. This video is going to be about the YouTuber Miss London. That does not mean that I wish any ill will for her. She is another human being, just like I am. We simply just don't agree. So I do not want you to send any hate towards her on my behalf. I'm gonna get it all out. It's been keeping me up at night. It's stressful, I'm annoyed, and I need to get it out. Any video that's used in this film, I will link in the description because I feel like that's respectful. I'm doing commentary on the video. You are more than welcome to go down in the description box, click on that video and view it for yourself. I would want someone to do the same thing for me. So Miss London, I'm gonna give you a little respect. Let's begin.
So, let's get back into some shit, shall we? How do I begin a video like this? Oh yeah. Get your shit together!
Right off the bat, I am spooked. I have never seen so many Hot Topic clearance rack items all in one place. It's pretty frightening if you ask me. And that little lip lick she did, I don't know what tranny chasers you're trying to lure into your Kick Messenger, but Miss London, you scared the rest of us right out of our boots.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Did Chase actually, like, shade us? Shit slipped, I guess.
I love like the theatrical vibe. Shit slipped, I guess. This is giving me like Gossip Girl spinoff that doesn't even make it to Netflix. It makes it to like Amazon Prime.
Chase, if you're watching this, because I know you saw or at least heard of my last video that I did on you, I went relatively easy, I'll say.
Chase, I always hear 24/7 that you went to it like a very, very, very good college, yet you don't know the biological sex of which a penis goes to and which a vagina goes to. A fucking third grader can answer that.
See all of us, and also stop gendering my anatomy. Nobody asked for your fucking opinion.
If you think that it's misgendering genitalia to say that I have male genitalia, I do not have a fucking vagina. I am not gonna go in the doctor's office right now and say,
"Hi doctor, I have a fucking vagina."
this is a penis. This is a vagina.
So Miss London lets us know that she went pretty easy on Mr. Chase last time, but starts off the excerpt of the clip mocking someone for being proud of the fact that they went to a prestigious college and got a very good education. Then proceeds to enlighten a grown-ass man about where a penis goes and where a vagina goes. Chase's friend Aaron saying that he was tired of people gendering his genitalia. Two very different things, Miss London. Looks like you've got your story mixed up. Miss London is lucky one of those little arms don't snap right off from reaching so hard trying to grab shit that doesn't exist.
Chase is very extreme in his views, very impartial to people that criticize his views and criticize other people and criticize everybody who thinks like he does.
Miss London Tipton, you say that Chase is very quick to criticize people whose opinions do not line up with his. However, here we are.
And it's okay. He has every right. And that's why I myself have every right to call out a dumbass tranny on his bullshit.
Did you see how her eyes got when she was like, and it's okay. He has every right. It kind of gave me goosebumps. We're 2 minutes and 21 seconds into this video and I'm already feeling more than I did when I watched Twilight. All I'm gonna say is with that little Hot Topic detective hat, she better be bringing me some hardcore evidence. Spoiler alert, she doesn't.
Oh, look at you, Chase. Intro.
I could make a joke about white people having no rhythm, but all I'm gonna say is I feel like I was just sucked into a TikTok cringe compilation. Ugh.
I was inspired by some YouTubers who transition and now very comfortably fit to the binary of the gender that they identify as, and now kind of like shame or misgender other trans folk who either aren't cis-passing enough in their opinion or choose not to be on hormone therapy. And I was just thinking, like, they think they're so elitist. They think they're so, like, let's say if they transition from male to female, they think they're so much more female than them, or transition from female to male, they think they're so much more male than the other one.
And you're the same person that says gender's a spectrum. Like, is it not a thing to be more feminine than someone and more masculine than someone? You know, that's just not a thing anymore. We're just alienating that all of a sudden.
Now, you'll have to forgive me. I'm new to the commentator world. I'm no Blair White, and I'm not sure of the political term for this, but this, in Victoria Wiggins' language, I'm just gonna label butt fuckery. She shows a clip of one of these gentlemen explaining that he feels trans people who transition and are passable and who fit the binary of their gender, which means they are susceptible to the societal norms of that gender. Some of those people tend to be elitist, and I'm gonna branch off on that a little bit. What I think he means by that is that those people tend to have this arrogance, and they tend to look down on others who do not fit that binary. She spins that and says, well, Aaron, aren't you the one who says that gender is a spectrum? The reason this is wrong is because he never said that it wasn't a spectrum. He brought up the fact that people like you tend to look down, criticize, and bully other trans people who are not fitting the binary. But you chose to throw all of that out of the window. You tossed it right out. And you're bringing up such a dumbass statement like, well, isn't it true that some people are just more feminine than others, or some people are more masculine than others? Isn't that a fact? What do you mean? Are you oblivious to that? That's not even what he said, sister. Come on. I mean, if you're gonna react to the footage, at least fucking listen to what he's saying. It just seems very bent, very like, I'm trying to bend what you're saying so I can get a good little quip out of it. It's not working. It's not gonna work on this little tranny brain of mine.
You know, it's almost like you changed the rules to fit your narrative. Look at that.
No one changed any rules to fit any narrative. You just twisted what he was saying and made him seem like a dumbass. When clearly these two men are very educated and passionate about what they're talking about.
Look at that.
Did you want us to look at the misinformation you're representing in your video, or did you want us to look at your body? Because honestly, I don't want to look at either at this point. Miss London, I hope you have the receipt for those Party City fishnet stockings you've got on, because they need to go back.
I interviewed a couple non-binary people, so if you want to come at me with that non-binary phobic shit, get that shit out. There's the door, bitch. You can fucking leave.
That whole little excerpt just reeks of like, well, I sucked a black guy once, so I'm not racist. Miss London, I hate to inform you, but just because you had a conversation with a non-binary person does not exclude you from being non-binary phobic, which, is that even a word? There's no way I can discriminate against a group. I fucking interviewed one. I interviewed one of them motherfuckers. That's just the vibe I got.
They mentioned this so many times in this fucking podcast that like, oh my God, you're dictating these people's lives, you know, you're not letting them call themselves non, like all this kind of shit. Like, bitch, I'll let them do whatever the fuck they want. They can do whatever they want. I don't have to let them do anything. If they're confident in themselves, they would just, you know, let me say whatever I have to say and just go on with life.
I want to highlight this. I want to make sure you got this little quip. If they were comfortable with themselves, then they would just let me say whatever I want. I, as a trans woman, am very comfortable in my existence and my identity and my being. But if someone was talking shit about me or misinforming the public on my existence, I would stick up for myself. There's a difference between sticking up for yourself. Well, why do you care about what I have to say? I thought you were so secure. If you were so secure in yourself, then you would just let me say whatever the fuck I want. That's not how this works. You're doing a critique video. Other people are going to critique you. That doesn't mean that they're so insecure with themselves that they feel the need to address what you're saying. They're addressing what you're saying because what you're saying sounds ignorant. You sound like a bully.
How do you feel about trans?
Why you gotta laugh at that boy's laugh? He's having a good time. It's his fucking podcast. It's his laugh. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Give me a break. Miss London, I'm coming for you with my laser pointer.
I obviously present myself like a girl and look like a girl. And if someone called me a he, it would just be obviously intentional. But see, with a lot of these non-binary people, it's not intentional.
Now, all my cis-het folk out there, here's the thing that trans people love to do, especially the trans women. What you just saw right there, she goes off on an irrelevant tangent saying that I'm a girl, I look like a girl. If someone were to call me a he, it would be obvious that they were just trying to get under my skin. Trans women like Miss London, who fit perfectly into this little tiny group, who fit perfectly into the binary, love to, at oftentimes inappropriately, insert the fact that they're passable, that they're untouchable. I'm a woman, honey. And if someone were to come at me for that, I mean, they're just looking silly. If someone were to call me he, that would be silly. As a trans person who has done this before, I just want you to be aware of the fact that that's a total ego boost. That's a total, like, peacock flocking its feathers. Like, look at me, I'm beautiful, I'm a pretty gal. That's a total show off. That is a total insecurity thing to try to make yourself look better. And as Chase said, it's giving off that vibe of like, I'm better than the rest. If someone were to misgender me, that would be silly. Why would you do that? I'm a beautiful woman. But what it does is it teaches all of the non-trans people who are watching Miss London's channel that if a trans person doesn't fit the, let's say it doesn't fit the pronouns that they want to be called. So let's say a trans girl wants to use female pronouns. If she doesn't look like a woman, and if she's not presenting herself as a woman, or you can tell in any way that she was born biologically male, that you don't owe her an ounce of respect, and you don't have to call her the pronouns she wants to be called. And before you say, Victoria, that was a little bit of a reach, let's jump into the next clip, shall we?
I look at people like Ash Hardell and say she, because she looks like a she. Pre-FFS, I called Riley he because she just naturally presented as a he.
She gives us an example of those two trans YouTubers, Ash and Riley, who to her appeared a certain way. Despite them clearly having YouTube channels and talking about their gender identity, discussing what pronouns that they would like to be addressed by, she, knowing all of that information, decided to give them the pronouns that she wanted to give them because she's just calling it like she sees it. She tries to spin it to make it seem like, well, I didn't know anything about them, I'm just calling them like I see them. Well, the problem with that is you were presented with all of the information. You knew what pronouns they wanted to be addressed by, but you chose to not do that because they don't fit your little binary that you want all of these trans people to fit into.
Pronouns are based off of secondary sex characteristics. Pronouns aren't a, let's just look at this person and then ask their pronouns. Nobody does that. That is not how social interactions work. And Chase, I know you're an antisocial fuck and actually don't get out in the world very much. Sad, really. But in real life, in the real world, people don't ask your pronouns before you talk to someone. That's not how actual human interaction works.
But the worst part is she then tries to correlate that with non-binary people in the real world and tries to make it seem like some random person on the street looking at a non-binary person and accidentally calling them the pronouns that they do not like is the same thing as her watching a fucking YouTuber knowing the pronouns that they would like and just calling them the wrong thing on purpose, saying, I called Riley J. Dennis he because before she had FFS, she looked like a man. Well, sweetie, if you're watching this one, I know damn well I look like a man, but you're not gonna dare call me he, are you? Because you've already been called out and that would just make you look stupid. I hope for your sake you don't. You sound like a cis person. Like this is something a transphobic cis person would say. Well, she doesn't look like a girl, so why would I call her she? These YouTubers like this who are just trying to appeal to everyone and trying to appeal to everyone's transphobia are preaching this kind of stuff, preaching that if they don't look like a girl, you don't have to call them a damn she. You can call them he all you want because that's just what they look like. It's perpetuating this ignorant, transphobic, discriminatory behavior, and it's so gross, and so many people are falling for it. 5.3 thousand thumbs up. Only about 1,000 dislikes. What's going on? But it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we're in Trump's America, baby. This is it. Buckle in for the ride. It's not over yet for another 2 fucking years. Now, I don't know if Chase has social anxiety. The majority of trans people do, but I don't want to make that assumption for him. He can speak on his own behalf. However, she clearly jumps to the conclusion that he does have social anxiety, which means he must not leave the house and he must not get out in the real world and not know how things in the real world work. that's that's just fucked up. Like, I know I've had kind of a funny attitude about everything up until this point, but that's fucked up. Like, you don't tell someone who has social anxiety and other mental health issues that they don't go out into the real world, so they don't really know how things are. It's really sad. It's sad to watch, and it's very cringy to watch.
That's it. Those are the trans people that I don't get it. You know how much it's just, you know, like we say, like, you know how much it hurts to get misgendered, but these are the type of people that are like, get over it. My gender identity wasn't male and it wasn't female, it was queer. And it made me feel like, because I don't fit in the male and the female, that I'm not real. But and it's not that I don't want to use the word, because like it's so stigmatized, because do you think I give a fuck about that? No, it's just not a word that maybe in the future, who knows, but right now I'm like, I'm okay.
Not a label that you particularly cling to,
not right now. Yeah. I don't have time.
I feel like trans man is,
I don't like that, like, for me.
That's the thing, it's because it's like trans man, it's so like binary.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like FTM.
I don't like trans man. I like FTM. Honey, that means female to male. Done. So fucking done with you.
Miss London, it seems like you've got a downright nasty case of selective hearing, previously referred to by me as butt fuckery, but I'm kind of figuring it out now. I'm kind of like getting the hang of this. Chase, I've got a pen. I'm kind of like a teacher. I'm ready to give you a lesson, Miss London Tipton. Chase said that he doesn't identify with the terminology trans man. He's not the only one, I'll tell you that much. There are a lot of trans men who would rather be referred to as something else other than a trans man, because it just doesn't feel right to them. They don't feel like that is an accurate representation of who they are. Chase says that he prefers the phrase FTM, which is just that, a preference. He would prefer to be addressed as that. We're not talking pronouns, you know, no one in the real world is gonna go up to him and be like, hey FTM, how are you? We're not talking about pronouns, we're not talking about cis people, we're talking about vocabulary used by the trans community. This is our shit, we own it. No one else knows what the fuck we're talking about. You then proceed to let the point that he just made about that being his preference go right over that little Hot Topic clearance rack detective hat of yours and go into the meaning of the acronym FTM. You don't think he knows what that means? I don't know how else to explain it. I get this just condescending vibe coming from this gal right here, and I don't like it. It rubs me the wrong way and it makes me feel gross. It's just downright rude for someone to be like, oh, hi, this is my preference, I identify with this versus this, and for you to be like, well, that's the same thing. You're just picking at this point. You're picking apart every little thing you can find. And like, I'm telling you, Miss London, you better stop reaching that little arm, because it's gonna snap right off. I'm worried for your health. I don't want you to lose it. That means you lose your other hand. And how are you going to message all these chasers on Kick Messenger that you're pulling in? It's a lot easier to type with two hands versus one. We all know that. That just made me think of like when you watch porn and you've got like one hand on your dick and the other hand on your phone, and you're like trying to type in the search bar and you have to pull your hand away from your dick to type that. It's not going to work out. Stop reaching.
Done.
And there she goes again, another excuse to stand up and show off those fishnets. Her meat's tucked tighter in those fishnets than an air-packed tube of salami. Let it breathe. You're in the comfort of your own home. I can tell you right now, my balls are out. I don't have time. I spent an hour at the grocery store today getting ingredients to make tacos for dinner. By the time I got home, my balls were ready to pop out, and I let them out. Let them breathe. Shit.
Binary trans bitch. Out.
No one's mad at you for being binary. Like, here are those points again, just... She should be in the military. I'm convinced if people were shooting bullets at her, they would just direct right over her head. You have nothing to defend. No one is mad at you for being binary. No one, that's not a thing. No one's hating on you for that. People are hating on you and upset with you because you are being a bully and you're excluding other people in the community and being rude. That's why people are upset with you. No one gives a fuck what you look like. No one gives a fuck how passable you are. I promise you that by the time we're all 80 years old, all of us trans women out there, We might be fish in our 30s and our 20s, but baby, once we get old, there's no denying it. We are gonna be right back to where we started. The looks fade. The looks fade. But what you can keep is your integrity, your morals, your self-respect, and your dignity. I see on your shirt it says sassy. How about you get another shirt that says nice? Thank you all so much for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I would truly love to continue this conversation past this video. Let me know your thoughts. Was I too harsh? Was I not harsh enough? Am I in the wrong? What do you think? I genuinely would like to know. And unlike Miss London, I can handle your criticism. If you'd like to subscribe, I really, really would appreciate it. It means a lot to me and it definitely helps me out. There's no denying that. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, please subscribe. We want you in the family. Join the squad, join the troop, join the militia. It helps me. So if you like my content and you wanna see more, give it a shot.